let's go to the United States. You can't, even your most ardent Biden supporter can't look past how much he is struggling. And this idea that he's going to be able to front presidential debates and acquit himself and his party well, it's just fanciful. So how do you deal with a lame duck president, given this is a president who wants to run? Most lame ducks don't want to run. Then you've got the issue with Harris, Kamala Harris. How do you bypass her, as they must? At the same time, you've got talk now of a woman on the ticket with Donald Trump. Tell us what you can about her. Give us your Democrat insider knowledge.
Yes, there's a lot going on, and I think there's been a tectonic plate shift among the Democrat base. I would say as recently as just in the last week. If you look at, there's a couple of polls that have come out where they're really turning on Biden. A lot of very loyal media outlets and hosts are also actually turning on him and really questioning that. I think just because it's really impossible to ignore. It is undeniable now what the issue is, and it's starting to spill out. Mm-hmm. The problem, as you cite, Peta, is that it's not just him, but it's also the bottom of the ticket, where there's no confidence in Kamala Harris. She was never popular to begin with. And there is kind of this problem of how do they do the twofer, replace not just the top of the ticket, but also the bottom. That's really difficult. And also there's possibly some backlash. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And if they peel her off, she was an identity politics play, will that fracture their
And she could go rogue.
She could go rogue.
So tell me about the Trump side.
And on the Trump side, I mean, Kristi Noem, former governor of South Dakota, has always been sort of in the orbit of people, of possible contenders, conservative, good record economically. She was kind of one of the sane people in a world gone insane in the wake of COVID in terms of leaving that state open. Mm-hmm. But she also is not very popular with the really populist wing of the base, actually. She's had some issues with eminent domain, not banning boys from girls' sports and things like that. So I think that in the end, I'd be surprised if ultimately she's the pick, but I think Trump is sort of just flirting with the idea that he's got a good tent and a good roster of folks to pick from.
All right, let's go to China. What on earth is happening? To lose one minister is, what do they say, an inconvenience. Two says there's a lot of internal dissent.
And there's so not only the foreign minister and defence minister have disappeared, both of them Xi loyalists or Xi appointees, but the head of the Chinese strategic rocket forces and a number of other generals have been removed too. Now, you've got to remember that China's doing this huge strategic nuclear buildup. Mm-hmm. That's very ominous that he's seeing that there are loyalists out there in the western deserts of China to supervise their rocket forces. What does all of this mean? Something's happening, Peta.
It's a concern. Thank you both.